With the NBA preseason here, regular season around the corner, it's a great time to subscribe to Warriors Today because we're going to continue to increase our coverage here on the channel to keep you in the know with all things Dubs. A loaded show coming your way today, including some discussion about Kai Sotto. Lock us in, hit that red subscribe button, and let's get started. This is Warriors Today by Chat Sports. Chase Senior here with you. Hope all of Dub Nation had a great weekend, and your weeks are also off to a fantastic start. Fantastic show on tap for you today. Warriors making some signings, releasing a notable player. Also, we'll talk about Giannis, Steph Curry, ESPN, bogus disrespect about the Golden State Warriors. Stay tuned for that as well. But we begin with this. Warriors releasing Mac McClung, who during the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas, I thought was really good for Golden State. Displayed that athleticism, good playmaking ability. He has been released. Now, we talked about him having a potential shot at this roster as maybe a second or third string point guard. Maybe that would have been the case if he continued to play well in the preseason if another player didn't become available. We're talking about Ty Jerome, the Virginia legend from a couple of years ago, who was also let go. He cleared waivers, and now the Warriors are signing Ty Jerome to the roster. Now, this is somewhat intriguing. 6'5", 195. This is a guy who's a very heady player who was just that with Tony Bennett at Virginia, and last year played pretty good basketball. This is a guy who can stroke it from the outside. 7 points per game, 1.5 rebounds, 2+ dimes, field goal percentage sub 38%, but the length, as well as the high release on his shot, with how the Warriors develop shooters, makes this somewhat intriguing. So you let go of Mac McClung, you sign Ty Jerome after he has cleared waivers. We'll see if he can compete for a roster spot. Speaking of that, what do you think? This is one of the more deep rosters in the NBA. That's why that disrespect from ESPN is so ludicrous. But do you think that Jerome will make the roster? Give me a Y for yes and for no in the comment section. I appreciate all of your feedback and your basketball intellect here on Warriors Today. To Anthony Lamb, Warriors signing him on Monday, as Shams Charania has broken a lot of news this morning about the reigning NBA champions. Anthony Lamb to the Warriors, so he too going to be a part of this basketball team for the preseason, probably at most. I don't see any scenario in which he actually makes this roster. Played his college ball at Vermont last year, really did nothing at the NBA level. Coming up next on the show, it's that disrespect from ESPN. I just cannot believe, after watching what the Warriors did last year, they disrespected the reigning NBA champions in this regard. Now, here's this disclaimer from ESPN as they rank the top teams in the Western Conference. You'll be shocked to see where the Dubs came in. The result is an expected wins total based on average health luck, because some teams will have a better or worse fortune, but we don't know which ones. The average totals will inevitably be closer to 500 than the actual final standings. I'll tell you this, ESPN, that's just kind of a bogus and stupid exercise. I don't really understand why you do something like that. That's kind of clickbait in my opinion, but here are their projections in the Western Conference. Golden State Warriors, you're telling me that with this roster still stacked, with another year under the belt for some of these young studs on this roster, with the star power of Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson actually having an offseason to train because he's not coming back from an injury, Draymond Green still playing pretty well, the best coach in the NBA probably in Steve Kerr, best general manager, that they're going to be the 8th seed in the Western Conference, and the Phoenix Suns just went down to Kai Sotto. They're at number 1. What? This is absurd. And honestly, I saw it and I just started laughing. That's why I put the LOL down there. Look, the Warriors are stacked. They have an opportunity to win the NBA championship yet again. Honestly, you can make the argument they're better this year as compared to last year, but yes, the health is certainly of the utmost importance. More from ESPN. The 2 years Golden State spent in the lottery between losing in the 2019 NBA Finals and reclaiming the title in June have thrown this and many other stats-based projections off the scent of their true talent. Last year's 538 projections opened with the Warriors at 37 wins on average. Yeah, 538. They fell apart a couple of years ago. And even after Golden State reached the finals, the Dubs were still listed as huge underdogs to the Celtics. A full season of contention helps the Warriors' ratings naturally, but losing Otto Porter Jr. and Gary Payton II works against this team. But honestly, folks, we're not talking enough about JaMychal Green and Dante DiVincenzo. Like, those are really good acquisitions for this team, and they're a part of this roster that is one of the best rosters in the NBA. They can hit you from all angles. I mean, shoot, Even during some veteran rest games last year, Moses Moody got some run. So too did Jonathan Kuminga. Jordan Poole became the #1 offensive weapon. Patrick Baldwin Jr. is looking like a lottery pick that he was supposed to be coming out of high school throughout the preseason overseas for the Dubs, and he might not even get any run in the regular season. Stop with that 8-seed nonsense. It's ridiculous. Before we get to Kai, your one-word reaction to ESPN season projection, let us know right now in the comments section, and we have an awesome deal for you that we also want to tell you about. First, though, coming up next is Steph Curry, the greatest player in the world. We're going to interview Steph Curry at the end of the show. He's going to make his appearance on Golden State Warriors today, so make sure you also keep us locked in for that. But that deal that I was talking about, Golden State Warriors championship shirt, I got mine. It's ridiculous how this shirt was $35, now on sale for just $14. Chatsports.com/goldblooded. That is the deal that we have cooked up for all of Dub Nation. We'll put that link in the comment section and the description of this video. Giannis Antetokounmpo on Steph Curry. He sounds off on who he believes is the greatest player in the world. And obviously Giannis is right up there as well. Do I believe, he said, that I'm the best player in the world? No, I think the best player in the world is the person that is the last one standing. The person that takes his team to the finish line and helps them win the game, win games and become champions. 2 years ago when we did that, yeah, when I was sleeping in my bed, I was like, yeah, maybe I'm the best player in the world, But now, no, in my opinion, the way I view it, the winner is the best. The guy who wins is the best. I believe that the best player in the world is Steph Curry until the next player. And either way, no matter which way you want to slice it up, Giannis, Steph Curry, they're two of the GOATs in this league. So if they're having a conversation, it's like, hey, Steph, I won 2 years ago. You won this past year. I was the GOAT, but I'm going to carry over and pass over the mantle to you because you're now the GOAT. And now let's compete this year to see who the actual GOAT is. We'll meet in the middle, and that's the GOAT talk for today's show. Best player among those two. Let me know right now. GA for Giannis, SC for Steph Curry. I kind of agree with Giannis. Like, Steph Curry continues to get disrespected. This dude is just unbelievably changed the way that the game of basketball is played. I don't know if anybody can say that to that margin. Giannis's legacy, though, wow, fantastic. 2021 NBA champion, as he just talked about, Finals MVP, two-time MVP, six-time All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year. Some of those accolades right up there in the history books with Michael Jordan in terms of winning champ, Finals MVP, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. And then you look at Steph, more titles than Giannis with 4 of them, finally got that sought-after NBA Finals MVP. He's a 2-time MVP in the regular season, 8-time All-Star. Obviously, he's a little bit older, so he has that, and a 2-time scoring champion. And look, Steph Curry is one of the more unique basketball players of all time because has there ever been a player like him? No. Giannis, on the other hand, is also in that category. One of the more unique players ever is Giannis because with his body type, with his size, with the way that he plays and what he does, given his length and athleticism, which is already one of one, he too, very, very unique. So some GOAT talk. That's why we had to pull out the GOAT mask here on Warriors today. Help us out. Let's get the 46K subs by opening night. Can we get there? I'm challenging all of you right now. 706 more in order for us to get that number. Then we're shooting for 50K. YouTube.com/WarriorsTV. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that red sub button. All right. Kai Sotto. You want us to do the Kai Sotto dance? Hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. I actually kind of already did it earlier. But should the Warriors bring in the Filipino legend after a huge preseason win over the Phoenix Suns? Now, we were talking about this among the Chat Sports homies late last night as we were watching some NBA preseason, and we saw that the Adelaide 36ers in the NBL, a very good Australian international league, was leading the Phoenix Suns. They ended up winning the game. And in the midst of that, Kai Sotto, 11 points, 2 boards against NBA competition, 2 dimes, 2 steals using that length and those defensive intangibles that we've always talked about as being underrated, and shot 50% from the field. Now, in the first 2.5 quarters, Kai was somewhat silent, but at the end of the game, he started to really turn it on. A really impressive performance for him. And this is why I've always said, look, take a shot on this guy. In the late second round, there are already so many scrubs who were selected in the 50s and the 60s who never even get a shot at an NBA roster. Kai, on the other hand, is a 7-footer who has unique ability, and he's attempting to become the first Filipino-born player to get drafted. He didn't get that, but can he get back into the league or get to the league? I hope so. Kai, Kai. Let's go. Should the Warriors bring in Kai Sotto? Let us know. S for sign, P for pass. Appreciate all of you for watching the show, and keep it locked here for the best Warriors coverage.